Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to show you guys how I dealt with my own improvement of my own procrastination. Because in the past, in the educational system, I've personally have not been taught how to deal with all of the actions, all of the stuff that came in from every teacher and every piece of information and sports and like health and habit building and so many steps, and you're kind of like, okay, write it down in a to-do list and start working on your to-do list. And the result was that an example like that you're seeing right now in the screen, became my to-do list. It was a never-ending to-do list with more and more tasks, and I was constantly rushing to open up the to-do list and let's just start with that feeling of stress, like actual stress in my body because of it. And I want to go within this video a little bit deeper upon how I solved it for myself and how I'm still focusing um, on this system to improve my own procrastination, because I still experience that feeling. And I want to dive a little bit deeper upon this and showing this to you guys. What I did is quite often I had a physical notebook, writing stuff down. And then what happened is the action list became longer and longer and longer, and I just finished a couple of them. But then it was yeah, 3 on my queue, yeah, do I really need to do that, or is there something that's holding me back? Do I need to reach out to someone? Do I have all of the information for that? I needed to think about the whole project before I actually could start that specific thing. And what I noticed is I needed to reframe my whole way of thinking about the mindset shift internally. It is about, I want to be in control over the actions that I found important in my life to achieve a certain end goal, to achieve a certain project, to make a project reality. Without me reserving 4 hours of working on my to-do list, because it was so annoying for me. For me, it doesn't work. There are some people that really thrive on this concept, but for me, if you're struggling with procrastination, then this could be a solution for you. What I did is, now you see within the Notion platform you have the all, and that's for this example, but filtering down on 5 different categories. And these 5 categories are based on the Getting Things Done system from David Allen. So all the credits from him. I kind of renamed a couple of the names because I found it easier to explain that for people who are experiencing this. And if I'm making any mistakes comparison to the original system, please correct me. And well, yeah, you can correct me, but this works for me, so this is what I'm going to show you guys. We have a difference between a must and a maybe action. So the definition of must, if I say to someone, yeah, I will do that, I will send you an invoice next week somewhere, then I spoken that task out to someone. So I made an agreement with that person. So then I'm going to write it down as in create an invoice for client X. This is something that I've agreed with client X because client X is waiting for an invoice. And I didn't actually spoke with him as in, I'm going to create an invoice for you, because he doesn't really care about that. He wants to receive it. But part of that procrastination is the step is becoming too big. So now I split that action as in invoice client X. That's something how I would write it down in the past. in my to-do list. And now I really split that out to, yeah, but like what to do first, like create the invoice first. And then the second one, which is not actionable just yet because I haven't created that one just yet, is sending that invoice to that client. So in this case, this actionable must, the concept of a must is because you've agreed this with someone else, your word becomes your bound. Every time that you mention something, then you will do this. It's a very important detail. And actionable is there something currently holding you back? For example, sending that invoice, that's not something that you could do if you still need to create that. And if you're having trouble with procrastinating, then it's reducing that step of, if you can't send it just yet, then write down first create it. So make the steps smaller. And then we have that different concept, as in not actionable must. And in this case, this example is create the invoice for client X, right? Client X. So this is something that you, I must say send. So sending this thing to client X is something that you must do because you mentioned that to your client. But if you're having some trouble and you're in need of a first little step beforehand, then you need to split those two out. As in first create it and then the second one to send it. Like for me personally, it sounds so amazingly simple, but I found it difficult to ask someone for help for something that I believe that I should know. Like part of this YouTube channel and sharing is sharing all of those basic tips and tricks. What was a very massive change for me personally, and to give that value upon you guys. So send invoice, that's one, and the other one there. Good. Then we have a maybe list. And a maybe list is pretty long, to be honest. Here you see the AIIM again. Why is this maybe and why are these things not a must at this moment? It is you deciding, is this something that you've agreed upon with someone else? Did you actually mention to that person, I will pay this bill before April? So for example, a maybe action is go to event X. I don't know if I will actually do that just yet. But the deadline of this choice is at the end, the 15th of August. Because the event is 15th of August. This is an example. So, and then you have the option as in send the invoice to client X. This is an interesting one. Because if you had that conversation with client X and he actually said to you as in, yeah, send me this invoice, then your word becomes your bound. It's a really underlying belief system. So this actually, you're opening it up, and then you're actually pressing mandatory because your word becomes your bound. And now it gets removed here. So these are the maybe actions. These are actions that you could do, but you haven't agreed upon that with someone else, or paying the bill and external factors. A lot of us are automating things, making automated rent payments, of course. But this is a concept of how you deal with all of this information. The first starting point is understanding how it works, and then you can automate it later on to make your life easier, basically. And then we have something that is called the waiting for lists. And this could be that you're waiting for a reply from Robert for a business proposal, for a business offer. So let's imagine that you have a conversation, a discovery call with that person, or you send out a mail and you're like, oh, Robert, this is the business offer that I'm having. These are the rules. This is the price. Are you interested in this one? So that's your outgoing communication to Robert. Then you're writing down in your action list, I am waiting for a reply on Robert. And if this is an offer that is value like open for 2 weeks, for example, then you're going to write down the deadline as in until this date, I am waiting for Robert to reply. If this date has expired and you still haven't heard from Robert, you could like call the guy or just remove this from your list. Because after the deadline has expired, then you're not waiting for his reply anymore. Then the offer expired. Same goes for waiting for the payment from client X. This could be that you just send an invoice to that person and you're like, within that invoice he has 14 days of paying that one. And then you're waiting for the payment from client Z. So you're writing it down there. And if this has expired and you still haven't received the payment, then you need to take action to like make it bigger, or at least take action upon that. And let me see if I missed something specific. I don't think so. Yeah, like let's imagine that you have paying the bill for something. Doesn't really matter. Let's imagine if you need to pay a bill, but you don't have the funds yet to actually do it. You have the deadline of the 5th of April. So you're currently waiting for the payment of client Z. And after that specific deadline, then that person should be paying you. And then you have 2 remaining days to make this, instead of there is something going wrong with my filtering. Kind of bad to show this example. Because this is currently hindered. It's not an actionable. It is so I need to change the wording, but the concept is the same. I will improve upon that for the next video, because I want to like share that piece of information as a concept and not as a software. You're waiting for that client until the 3rd of April, and then you can change this one, change the actionability, and then it will actually change automatically to this filter. And then you receive it here that you need to pay it. This makes you in full control over all of the actions that you have in your life. And later on, if you have a couple of reoccurring ones, then you can automate that part and you can escape that feeling of fighting against the clock, as in time is the most limiting factor. Because the main challenge, or at least my value and my vision, is escaping that feeling of busyness and escaping that time trap, that rat race. And having this has been so amazing, impactful, amazing. Understanding that idea is that next level of creation. That's what I believe. If you're struggling with procrastination or feeling busy or stressed, then this could be an amazing solution for you. So I want to close it off with this. Thank you very much. And then enjoy the rest of your day.